Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BizTalk. My name is Wally Rowder. I'm your host for today's session. Can everybody hear me? Can you wave your hands to me, please? Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all. Hi. Hello, Jocelyn. Hello, Manika. Hello, Steve Michael. How are you, Steve Michael? Good to see you. I need you all to please switch on your cameras. Your cameras must remain switched on throughout this BizTalk session if you are to get a certificate for attending BizTalk. It is very important that I communicate with you and I make sure you understand what you're learning. Thank you, Manika. Punitha Yagapa, you need to switch on your camera, please, if you are to receive a certificate. Today, we have a very, very interesting topic that we're going to talk about. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to learn about what it takes to be successful. We're going to learn about contributing and how do you know that you are successful. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody here wants to be successful. You all want to make money, right? Yes or no? Wave your hands if you want to be rich. Wave your hands if you want to be rich. Let's go. Come on, Deanne, wave your hand. Good girl. Excellent, excellent. I love it. Josephine, you want to be rich, Josephine? I didn't see your hand, Josephine. Wave your hand, young lady. Excellent. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jessica, where are you? Hello, Jessica. Wave your hand, Jessica. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to look at all the factors that are required in order to be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've got your camera switched off, Sherry Gale, Anna May Tapello, May Floridelisa, Ali Bay, all of you need to switch on your camera if you are to receive a certificate. If you want to receive a certificate for this attendance, your camera must be switched on for the duration of today's session. You will learn nothing by switching off your camera unless I can talk to you. I ask you, as common courtesy to me, everybody switch on your camera. Hari, your camera. Yamuna, your camera. Roland, Gabriel, your camera. Thank you. All right. Great. Excellent. So what we're going to talk about today is contributing and how you understand one's success. Everybody, as we just agreed, wants to be successful. Bikram, you want to be successful, Bikram, right? You want to be a millionaire, right? Excellent. Jocelyn Santos wants to be a millionaire. Look at her. She's always here on time, always with a camera on, always with a beautiful smile. Mr. Amala, my co-host, how are you today? Good to see you, mate. All right, so today, let me share my presentation and let's learn about what it takes so that you, each and every one of you, can be successful. Because success is not God-given gift. Success is something that you must earn. It is not God's given gift. So what do I mean by that? If you want to be successful, you have to earn it. You have to work for it. God will not give you success on a silver spoon. God will not give you money on a silver spoon. God gives us life. He gives us good health. But if we want to be successful, we have to do what it takes to make us successful. And today, we're going to look at what that involves. And I'm going to relate to each and every one of you. And I'm going to call on each and every one of you to tell me how this involves you. So if you really want to change, I want you to be active and answer my questions. First, the first thing I want you to do right now is look at yourself in your phone or in your mirror and ask yourself, am I really successful? If any of you say yes, then why are you here? The reality is that all of you want to be more successful. You may be successful to an extent, but none of you are so successful that you don't want to improve. Because if you were successful, you would be multimillionaires. You wouldn't be here today. If you were so successful, you would be out shopping on a Saturday afternoon. If you were successful, you wouldn't be attending my session. Ladies and gentlemen, the first element of contributing and defining your own success is to be honest to yourself. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? Do you understand what I mean by that, Manika? Manika? Harold, Inventor, Badia? Thank you, Harold. It's nice to see you again, Mr. Badia. Okay, great. Let's talk about what it takes to be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like to brag about myself and my success. So I want to leave it to somebody who inspired me, the man who motivated me. His name was Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said, technology is nothing. What's important is that you have a faith in people, that they're basically good and smart. And if you give them tools, they'll do wonderful things with them. In order for you to be able to do that, or in order for you to have the confidence to believe in the Jobs philosophy, the first thing you need is to understand what you're required to contribute. Steve Jobs did not sit on his lazy ass and expect it to happen. Steve Jobs contributed to the success of Steve Jobs and the success of Apple Inc. He did contribute, because without Steve Jobs, Apple would no longer be a company. You would not be buying iPhones the way you do today. The iPhone is a Steve Jobs legacy. The MacBook is a Steve Jobs legacy. Steve Jobs started work at Apple. Apple fired Steve Jobs after the first year. They told Steve Jobs that he did not think the same way as the company did. They told him he did not have the right company culture. Steve Jobs did not give up. He went out and started his own company. Ladies and gentlemen, some 2 years later, Apple Inc. bought Steve Jobs' company on the condition that Steve Jobs come back and teach them how to run Apple Inc. Ladies and gentlemen, he did. With him, he brought the success of Apple, because without Steve Jobs, there would be no Apple today. All right, so let's talk about that, and let's keep that in mind. Let me tell you, what am I here for today? I'm here to talk about a total of your achievements, anything that you're trying to achieve in order to achieve your goal in life. It could be making yourself famous. It could be earning enough money to raise your family and get married. It could be so you can buy a jumbo 747 and have your name on the tail. Or it could be just so that you can live a comfortable life and not have to live in poverty. The positive consequence of your contribution or action in life will define the outcome of whether your achievement is a step of success or just another step of failure. That's a fact of life. Let me ask some of you, what is the ultimate success for you? Who can tell me? Has anybody here got a goal that they want to achieve in the next 3 years? Put your hand up. Come on, hands up. Good, excellent. Let's start with Nisa. Nisa, unmute your microphone, Nisa, and tell me, what's your goal? Nisa? Hi, Nisa. Can you unmute your microphone? Nisa? You need to unmute your microphone, please. My co-host, could you help? Thank you. Hi, Nisa. Good evening and welcome to BizTalk. Tell me, what are your goals that you want to achieve to consider yourself successful over the next 2 years? Go ahead.
My goal in the next 3 years, I want to have my own business.
So you want to have you want to have your own business within 3 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. But you see, your goal is incomplete, Nisa, because you forgot to say something really important. You forgot to say that I want to have my own profitable business in 3 years? Having a business, anybody can have a business, but having a business and being in bankruptcy or failing is not a goal. Having a goal is to have a successful, profitable business, which can become a brand leader in 3 years. Do you understand what I mean by that, Nisa?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
I understand.
what you need
Yes.
to do, Nisa, is start looking in yourself and asking yourself, have I really seriously thought about the goal? Or am I just imagining that I want a business? Because if you're serious about having a business, you should start asking yourself, what is the difference between a business and a successful business? Do you understand that, Nisa?
Yes. Yes,
All right.
clear,
All
sir.
right,
Yes,
good.
sir.
I'm not trying to discourage you, Nisia. I'm trying to make you aware of the reality and make you start planning so that you will be successful. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Good
I
on you,
understand,
young
sir.
lady. I'll
Thank
talk to you
you.
again
Thank you.
shortly. Very good. Everybody, I want you to have Nisa's
Thank you, sir.
motivation. Okay, let's go to the next person. Who's the next person? Let's talk to somebody else who's smiling at me today. All right, let's go to the young lady with her hand up. Miss Elaine Manio. Hi, good evening, ma'am. Can you unmute your microphone? Hi, Elaine. What are your goals?
Hello.
Elaine, hi. Tell me, what are
Good
your
evening.
goals? Good
My
evening.
goals in the next 3 years is since my parents has their own business, but in papers I am a corporate secretary, but I'm just a stay-home mom and trying to fix everything in the house and the business. I hope that I can be capable and what they call prepared when it comes in terms of the documents and stuff. I hope that I in the next 6 months I will be handled to do it on my own for the stuff that needs to be prepared yearly, the documents, the permits, and since my duties today this now my duties now is preparing invoices and uh, updating the clients. I hope that soon, I because of my parents are already uh, aged, I hope I can manage it on my own because since it's profitable and my goal is maybe make it more profitable
Thank you,
for
Elaine.
for
Elaine,
sustain my family.
good on you. Elaine, you have a goal. You're like the previous student I spoke to, Nisa. You're not putting enough focus on your goal. Your goal should be, I want to be able to take over the business. One, to manage the ongoing business that my parents have built. And two, to grow it and make it more successful. You need to focus, Elaine. You are not focused. You are like a typical schoolgirl like Nisa. You just have a dream, and that dream is hanging in the air. You need to be very, 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 very specific about what you want. Do you understand that, Elaine? So your goal, Elaine, is not to simply get better. Your goal, Elaine, is to be able to effectively take over and run the empire that mum and dad had created. One, to maintain the business it has. Two, to grow the business and make it even more profitable. Do you understand that, Elaine? Yes or no? Good girl. Excellent. I want to talk to one more person. Who else wants to tell me about their goals for success? Paul, John. Hello, Paul. Do you want to unmute your microphone, Paul? Go ahead. Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
Hi, sir. Nice to see you again.
It's my absolute pleasure. Tell me, what are your goals?
All right. So, I would say the year 2021 is definitely my year because all my dreams, little by little, are becoming reality. But one of them that I should have started 10 years ago is to have my own house and lot, which is already in the process. Like I am already saving to pay for a down payment reservation fee for the lot that I want, and I starting imagining what will be my dream house will be. And my plan will be like next year, July 2024, I'll be on vacation, and I might spend 1 year of vacation to so I can see how my house is going to build.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. You've got a lovely goal, building your own house. But let me tell you something, taking a 1 year vacation is not a good idea. I did that and I suffered. I don't advise anyone to take a 1 year vacation. That is the wrong step. You need to
Okay.
actually have goals of managing and watching your house being built, but you still
Mm-hmm.
need to be active. But it's an incredible goal. And, I mean, I built my third or fourth house in my life already. But
Okay.
what you need to do, Paul John, is do
Sure.
not close the doors on everything else, because at the
Mhm.
end of the trip, after you built your house, everything else in your life might have crashed. So
Exactly.
you need to maintain both the income in your life by running a
Mm-hmm.
business or working successfully and
Mm-hmm.
building a house. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Paul?
I
And
totally
Paul,
agree.
and Paul, I don't want to give you a headache, but you're thinking like Nisa and the other girl. You're thinking like a school kid. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't get me wrong. At school,
Okay.
we say as long as mommy and daddy give me 1,000 peso today, I go to school. That's okay because I can go out with all the girls and buy them hot dogs and they'll love me more. I'll be popular. No worries. As long as I get my pocket money, I've got nothing to worry about. And for
Mm,
you, you're still thinking that mentality. As long as I see my house built, everything will be okay. But Paul,
mm-hmm.
can I ask you a question? What are you going to do when the house is built? What are you going to do after that?
Of course, the house cannot be emptied. I mean, it shouldn't stop there. I cannot see my house being built while my income is getting low.
That's
So
right.
I need to
Exactly right. Exactly. So when I asked you your goal, you didn't mention your continued income. All
of
right.
course, I will continue getting income.
All
Perhaps
right.
we think extra business too while
Okay.
working here.
Okay. So are you running your own business or you're working for someone?
Right now I am employed in some company here in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so you're going to stay employed in Saudi Arabia, you're going to save your money, go back to the Philippines, build your house, and start your own business. What are you planning?
I'm actually planning both. Well, I'm already thinking what would be the best business to build while I am here. Just that
Okay.
it's really hard to find people who will manage my business there while
Well,
I
Paul,
am here.
yeah, Paul, let me give you some advice. You're not ready to start a business because you don't know what you want or where you want to go. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Listen,
Yeah.
Paul, I'm doing this
Hmm.
because I care for you. Paul, you need to sit down and get pen and paper, all right? You need to
Sure.
list all the possible businesses that you could imagine yourself running, okay? And
Mhm.
then under each one of those, you should list all the pros and cons of starting that business. You should be developing a fully fledged business plan over the next 3 months, outlining what it takes to run that business, what is the
Mhm.
cost, and how much do you
Mhm.
have to invest to start that business and maintain an income while you're building the house. Because right now, Paul, you don't have any solid goals. Do you understand where I'm coming from, mate? Please don't
Totally.
take, I'm not disheartening you. I'm telling you the fact. Do you understand that? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, I'll
That's
talk to you again shortly. Hopefully after
perfect.
today's lesson, you'll know the answer. All right. Thank you, mate. All right, let me talk to one more person before I go on. Who wants to be next? Can you put your hand up? Okay, hold on, Yolanda. I've got one person before you. Okay, Prabhaga Prabhagaran. Hello, Prabhagaran. Go ahead. Um, Hi, young lady.
Hi,
Tell me, what are your plans or
Swami. I'm
goals?
Pavitra.
Yes,
My goal for the next 3 years, first I have to complete my diploma in business and sales management in Kingston University
yes.
successfully. Then, after that, in internship, I have to learn. Learning is an endless process. Um, then I will reach my goal as in placing in good position. So what I have studied and learned, I have to apply in my working
Very
career.
good. Very good. Pavitra, you're on the right course, and I'm sure you will get through your your diploma. I'm here to help you, all right? Keep focused, because for you, the world and the journey in life is about to start. Once you've graduated, it's going to be a totally new journey in your life. Do you understand that, young lady? And I'll be
Yes.
here to support you and give you advice. Okay? Good on you,
Thank
young lady. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next person. Hi, Yolanda Aguirre. Hi, can you unmute your microphone? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon,
Tell
sir.
me, what are your goals, Yolanda?
Yeah, okay, so my goal is like, since I am working overseas, I am here in Vietnam, and my goal is not like only working that like as an overseas, but my goal is to have my own business, like be your own boss, right? And so you need to have a perseverance. You need to stay focused on your goals, and of course, and passions, and don't be afraid to take risks. Like now, I'm here in Vietnam, and who knows again? But I hope not, because when I was in China, so you know that COVID, so everything was in vain, because all the money that I saved is I also spent, right? So now I'm in Vietnam. So for now, I need to save, and uh, I need to save, and
You're on the
maybe
right.
in few
You,
years I will have my own business, like a bakery or some coffee shop. So I need to focus
fantastic.
on my goal.
Yolanda, you need to work and make money, but you also need to actually make sure that that income is drawing a return. So when you save it, you also need to think how you're going to save it and where you're going to save it and what it's going to do for you. So that should be a goal. I'm going to earn this much a month. This is how much I'm going to save. The interest rate I'm going to accumulate for my saving is going to be this. You have to do your research and find out which bank is going to give you the best package, and you have to focus. All right. Thank you, Yolanda. It's very nice talking to you. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you have your own goals. You all want to be successful. And I will come back and talk to each of you as I go through today's session. But let me move on. I mean, look at it. My co-host had a goal. Recently, he got married. And that was because he wanted to be successful. He wanted to be a daddy. Can everybody give Mr. Amala a big hand? Everybody clap for him, please. Clap for him. Good. Excellent. Recently, it, I've already been married. I've been married for nearly what, 20, 25, going 26, 27 years now. Okay. And every year I buy my wife an anniversary gift. Recently, I realized that her anniversary, or our wedding anniversary, is coming up in about 15 days. And recently I had to set my goals to have enough money to pay for the next diamond ring for our 29th anniversary, 29th year of marriage. Okay. So Mr. Amala is lucky. He's only in year number 1, going on to year number 2. I'm into 29 years. You know how expensive it becomes after 29 years, guys? But that was my goal, to get married and remain in love and be passionate. All right. So everybody has a goal. Goals don't have to be for money. Goals don't have to be about being a millionaire. Goals are for you to achieve what you want in life. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. So we've spoken about what success is. Let's talk about success as far as individuals are concerned. Success cannot be defined in one sentence, but instead it comprises of many things. Success is relative and depends on the individual. One single definition may not resonate with all. Success is something that one has to define for oneself, and no one can do it for you. The first step towards achieving your success is by defining success for yourself. You have to understand, what does success mean for me? When will I be considered to have been successful? Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. When we were at school, guys, when Bikram was at school, his goal was to have a girlfriend. His goal was to have the best looking girlfriend in his year. He probably achieved that. All right. But then after he graduated from school, his goal changed. It was to find an even better looking girlfriend. And then suddenly he wanted more. He said, well, it's okay having one, but why can't I have two? Why can't I have two girlfriends? And he probably had two. I don't know. Am I right, Bill Crumb? Wave your hand, Bill Crumb. Wave your hand. Good man. All right. So everybody has goals in life. Everybody. And that goes for Steve. It goes for Maritas. It goes for Marisa. It goes for Yolanda. And it goes for Elaine. It goes for Jocelyn. Jocelyn probably had goals as well. When she was at school, she probably said to herself, hey, I'm the cutest looking girl in my year. I want that basketball player as a boyfriend. And then after she graduated high school, she said to herself, well, hold on, that basketball player's poor. He comes from a poor family. I need to find somebody better looking with more money, huh? And then she decided that wasn't good enough either. And she eventually found the man that she decided to get married to, right? And now her goals have changed. Her goals are focused on family, her success, and her life. Her goals are changed. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is goals are different for everybody. What Ravindran requires to be successful, how Ravindran judges his success is different to how my co-host today, Mr. Amala, judges success. All right? They're different. Everybody has a different measurement of success. And if your measurement of success is the same as your father's measurement, you are a failure. If you measure success by the standards that your parents set for you and you're not prepared to go to the next level, then you will never be successful in today's terms. You need to leverage on what you learned from your parents, but that should not be the end. You need to take it to the next level because success for two people will not be the same. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? When I ask you a question, I want to see everybody's hands waving. Does everybody understand? Yes or no? Quickly. Good. Ma Florderisa, do you understand that? You need to wave your hand. Don't go to sleep on me, Ma. Okay. Chloe, do you understand? Good girl. Raja, do you understand? Cheryl, do you understand? Good girl. All right. Okay. So everybody's measurement of success is different. Longanathan, do you understand what I mean by success? Wave your hand, Longanathan. Don't shake your head. Good man. Excellent. Okay. So let's talk about different levels of measurement. Let's talk about them. I want one of you to tell me, or I want somebody here to tell me about when do you think you have become successful? How would you measure your success? Is it money? Is it by people remembering your name? Is it that when you walk down the street, people look at you and say, wow, she's the best looking girl in the country? Or for Longanathan, is it when Longanathan walks down the street and everybody looks at him because of his fast car? When do you measure yourself as successful? Each and every one of you has a different level of success. For some of you, it's earning a higher salary, going back to your own country and having a business. But what sort of business? Is it a small business, a large business, a multinational business? All of these things demonstrate that you're not ready for success. All of you are working on this ideal that you had at school of your heads full of mashed potatoes. I need you to change that to green broccoli. I need you to start thinking seriously about what is it that you consider to be success. You want to start your own business? What sort of business? What sort of business? How many years are you going to give yourself to make that the most successful brand in that industry? You need to ask yourself these questions. Otherwise, you don't have a plan. You're dreaming. Does everybody know the difference between a goal and a dream? Who knows the difference? Amira, you know the difference? You do, Amira. We've spoken about this before. Tell me, Amira, what's the difference between a dream and a goal? Go ahead, Amira. What's the difference?
I think the goal is something that you have to achieve in the future. And the dream,
And what's a dream?
the dream is the how you imagine your goal would and how you
Okay.
work for it.
Okay, very good. So what Amira is saying is a dream is something that's inside here. A dream cannot become real unless you have a goal and unless that goal has the right components in it. Do you understand that? So the measurement of whether that dream goes from an imaginary thing in your head to reality depends on how much effort or what level of collaboration you put into that dream. Is that correct, Amira?
Yes.
Okay, smile, Amira. Why are you so sad? Say it with confidence. Yes.
Yes.
Good girl. Excellent. All right, Jennifer, do you understand what Amira just explained? Jennifer Collado, can you wave your hand to me, please? You're going to sleep there. I'm worried about you. Wake up. Okay, good girl. All right, so let's go back to my presentation. So, one single definition may not resonate with all. Success is something that one has to define for oneself. And when I say that, I mean that with the greatest respect to all of you, because what I'm learning as all of you speak is none of you have really planned to be successful, because none of you are using words strong enough that illustrate how much you've thought about it, how much you've put into it. So that shows me that you must remember the effort that you put in, how much you think about it, and how seriously you contemplate it will resonate in whether you're successful or not. The first step towards achieving success is defining what is success for yourself. What is success for yourself? If you can't define that, then how can you be successful? Let's look at this man. This man came into business. This man said, if you carefully consider what you want to be said of you in the funeral experience, you will find your definition of success. If you carefully consider what you want people to say about you at your funeral, then if you can measure what sort of feedback you want people to give about you at your funeral in your obituary, then you understand whether you're serious about being successful. And that's true, because you will never know whether you've accomplished success until after you're gone, if you don't plan it correctly. To plan success correctly is to be able to show the world that you should be remembered while you're alive and not only when you're dead. What a better place to find one's definition of success than at one's own funeral. The life one is living today is the legacy one leaves behind. And that is a fact, that people will remember you for what you achieved. They will not remember you for what you ate or the house you built. If one's current legacy is not the one wants to leave, then you are not on a track to being successful. It means you need to think over again. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Let's look at Warren Buffett. Does everybody know who Warren Buffett is? Yes or no? Everybody knows Warren Buffett? He says, I measure success by how many people love me. Does everybody know who Warren Buffett is? He's only the richest man in the world. He is the richest entrepreneur in the world. He's a venture capitalist. What does Warren Buffett do? He doesn't run companies. He invests in companies and gets his money from financing successful companies. He's one of the richest men in the world. People say he's even richer than Bill Gates, and that's a fact. Warren Buffett is one of the richest business minds in the world, and he doesn't work. He basically simply invests in businesses that he believes will make money. And that's where he earns his profit. And when he invests at them and they grow really big, what happens? He sells his investment and gets a return. He says in his philosophy, which he's been preaching for 30 years, that my success depends on how many people love me and want me to invest in their company. No company in the world will say no to Warren Buffett's money if he'll give it to you. Does everybody understand what I mean by the level of measurement of success? Do you all understand where I'm coming from? Yes or no? Do you understand what I'm saying, Steve, Michael? Okay. Where's my good friend, Mr. Dixon? Mr. Dixon, are you here today? Do you understand what I said? Good, excellent. Thank you. Mary Dorothy, do you understand what I've just explained, Mary Dorothy? Good, excellent. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, being successful is about first setting yourself a measurement of what is success. If you can't measure your own success in the right terms, you will never achieve it. You will die saying, I've never achieved my goal. You know, when I was young, my goal was to make the first million. Well, I hate to tell you guys, I did it. I did it maybe 15 years ago. But the problem for me after I did it, I spent it. I spent it because before COVID-19, there was other viruses that distracted the world, and the $1 million I'd made, I kept putting into the business that suffered because of what was going on in the world. The country that I was doing business with was at war. I lost all my money, and I wasn't aware that I had to pull out and cut my losses short and take my money somewhere else. But I did make my first million before I turned 30. Okay, and that's a fact. Did I work hard for it? Oh, hell yeah. I didn't sleep. Okay, so everybody has measurements of success. Am I focused at making another million now? I'm focused on making money, yes. Okay, do I want to make $1 million? Probably yes. Okay, but my priorities in life have changed because I now have a family and a daughter. Okay, does everybody understand that? Yes or no? So every day you need to ask yourself, what are the measurements for my success? The day you stop asking that is the day you've given up on your future. That's a fact. Warren Buffett goes to his office every day and looks at the billions of dollars that he's given to companies, and he looks at their performance on a daily basis and asks himself, should I leave my money there or should I pull it out today? And he's continuously setting goals for what his return from that business should be. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, so one success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, said Winston Churchill. So I've told you many times before, in order to be successful, you must first fail. The harder you fail, the more successful you will become. Success does not come without pain. The more painful you find it to become successful, the more successful you will become. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going to ask all the girls here, all of those who are already married with children. When these girls got married and they decided to have children, the husband said, yeah, sure. But the husband didn't realize how much pain his wife is going to go through to deliver a baby in the labor ward, right? Most of your husband didn't realize it, right? Yeah. Okay. When my wife went into hospital to deliver our only baby, I thought it's going to be fun. 2 or 3 hours, all over, we go home, right? Oh, no, that wasn't the case, Bill Crum. No. My wife was in labor for 14 hours. 14 hours. And she would not let me go out and get coffee. I sat next to her in the labor ward for 14 hours. It was the most stressful 14 hours of my life. But did I understand how much pain she was going through? Oh, no. And then when the doctor came in and said, listen, your blood pressure's going up, we need to do a cesarean. I thought, okay, I'll sit here and wait. But then what happened? The doctor said, oh, no, you can't wait here, Daddy. You have to go and change and come into the operating theater to hold your wife's hand while we take out the baby. So I did what I was told. I went into the operating room and the doctor said, are you ready? I said, yes. 3 minutes later, she said, you're the father of a proud little girl. I said, ma'am, you made me change, take off my expensive suit, put on this hospital gown for a 3-minute observation session. And my wife was pulling my hand because of the pain. Did I feel the pain? No. Did I know how hard it was? No, because I didn't feel the pain. Do you understand that, everyone? So unless you fail in your life, you will never be successful. Unless you try and try again, you will never succeed. Do you understand that, everyone? Remember what I told you about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs failed. Why did he fail? Apple fired him. Apple told him, you're not the right fit. You're not thinking the way we think. Goodbye, you're out. Did he give up? Bill Crum, did Steve Jobs give up? Hell no. He went and started his own company. And guess what? 2 years later, he sold it at a price that he never imagined. The price was so humongous that he could actually dictate the terms on which he went back to Apple Inc. Because a condition of the purchase was that he become the CEO and chairman of Apple Inc. That was the condition of the purchase. And when he went back, do you think they told him to change the way he does things? No, because they now realized that the way he did things was better than what they did. They lost money for years. They suffered the pain. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Let's look at our friend, Donald Trump in the US. Does everybody know Donald Trump? Put your hand up. Does everybody know the trumpet? Yes or no? Great, excellent. Donald Trump lost an election, but for him it was so painful that he had to retaliate by what he did, or supposedly did, right? He couldn't handle the pain. Instead of him taking it as a man and saying, I lost, thank you, I'll try again one day, all right? He didn't. He started making trouble, and now he's facing criminal charges and will probably go to jail for the next 45 years, all right? So being successful requires you to suffer pain. The more pain you suffer, the more hardship you go through, the more mistakes you make, the more successful your business will become. Because if you don't have the courage to do that, then you will never have the courage to become a successful entrepreneur. Because you don't have what it takes. Then you might as well just work as a domestic maid, or work as a housekeeper, work as a storeman, and earn a salary, because you don't have what it takes to do it on your own. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Yeah? Great, excellent. Do you understand that, Loganathan? Good, all right. Do you understand that, Paul John? Yes, good man. Okay. Okay, so for Barack Obama, the former president of the United States of America, he said, success isn't about how much money you make. It's about the difference you make in people's lives. So success for you, young lady who wants to take over her mom and dad's business, for you, it's not about how much money that business makes now. It's about how many people will look up to you and respect you for helping your mum and dad run the company and allowing them the opportunity to retire, not have to worry about the business and see you run it successfully. In the words of Barack Obama, success isn't about how much money you make. It's about the difference you make in people's lives. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, the basketballer. Michael Jordan, for some, is the greatest basketball player that ever lived. I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Can I ask you, every time Michael Jordan went onto a basketball court and took a shot at the basket and the ball did not go in, did he succeed or fail? Did he fail? Did he fail? Put up your hand if he failed. Come on, put up your hand if he failed. The adrenaline that Michael Jordan suffered every time he missed the basket was the reality as to why he became a better basketballer. Whether you believe it or not, that's a fact, Steve. Every time Michael Jordan took aim and missed, he suffered internally because all his fans believed he's the greatest player on the court. He's the greatest man, a hand that dribbles a ball. But he suffered. He suffered. And the more pain he suffered, the more times he missed that basket, he became a better player. Let's look at Ronaldo. Does everybody know Ronaldo, the football player? Yes or no? Ronaldo suffers every time he goes onto the pitch because every time Ronaldo takes shot at the goal and misses, he fails. Ronaldo's respect in the eyes of his supporters goes back one notch every time he misses a kick. That is suffering. And why does he become more popular as he gets better? Because the more he learns from his mistakes, the more calculative assessment he does about himself and why that ball didn't reach the goal is, the better he becomes the next time he plays. Ronaldo just went to Saudi Arabia, right? Yeah. He just signed the biggest contract in his life. Now, that contract is only as good as how many goals he kicks every time he plays. Because if he doesn't kick any goals, his value will eventually diminish. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Are you sure you understand that? Yeah? Good. All right, let's go on. As I said, I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. They are the words of Michael Jordan. Let's look at the starting point for everybody in order to become successful. In order to become successful, you cannot rely on God's God-given gift. Do not expect that God will bless you with success and money will pile up in front of you. Because if that's the case, you're living in a world that is never going to happen. The fact is that success is not a God-given gift. Success is something you have to earn. And for you to earn success, it's in return for the actions or the physical contributions or the mental contributions you make. The human will, our intention as human beings, our desire, is stronger than anything in the world. So if we focus our desire, learning is not only a means to get a job. Learning is much more than that. It strengthens one's self-confidence and enhances one's self-awareness and culture. So the reason you're here today is probably because you want to hear my ideas and hopefully throw all that mashed potato crap that you have in your head and start thinking more seriously. Because many of you have your finger in your mouth and you believe that you know it all. You believe that your life is good. You believe that you have goals. But when you talk about your goals, the goals are not even firm. The goals are a dream because you're not articulating that goal deep enough to show that you've really, 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 really thought about it. When you have a goal, it's something that you need to think about every day. The more you think about it, the more solidified that goal becomes. The more you think about it, the more self-confidence you'll have in achieving that goal. Does everybody understand that? Can you wave your hands now, please? What is a goal? What is a goal? Let's look at what are and aren't they. What are goals and what are goals not? What is the difference between something that is a goal and something that isn't a goal? Listen carefully, all of you, because none of you understand this. You're all still thinking in the last century. You all think you know what a goal is, but you don't. Your vision for the future. Goals should be the result of careful consideration of a personal vision statement and the things that you want to achieve. And part of this means that it's a vision statement that you constantly review on a daily basis. Mr. Amala, somebody's drawing on my screen. Can you fix that, please, Mr. Amala? Somebody is drawing on my screen. Okay? Goals are time sensitive. The most effective goals are time bound. Goals generally have a longer time frame. They can be broken down into smaller short-term goals. So if your goal is not long-term and aimed at achieving maximum, then you have a problem. You need to go back to the drawing board. Goals must be large in nature. Don't be afraid to set a big goal that seems like a reach. Feel free to think outside the box and dream big. You can set smaller, short-term goals to help you get to the big goal, the big dream. Look at Madonna. You think the first time Madonna went on stage, she thought she's going to become a legend? Do you think that the first time Michael Jackson went on stage as part of the Jackson brothers or Jackson brothers and sisters, do you think they thought they'd become millionaires? Well, the band or the group thought it would become rich, but did they ever think that their youngest brother, Michael, would become of the world's most famous pop stars of his time? Do you think they ever thought that Michael could make more money than the whole fat Jackson family put together? They didn't. Because Michael Jackson was not afraid to plan big, think big. What differentiates a goal from something that is not a goal? What's the difference? A goal is not an objective. Even though goals describe what one wants to achieve, objectives are the steps taken to reach the goal. All of you keep telling me I'm going to work hard and save money to start my own business. That's not a goal. That's an objective. If you can't tell me what that business is, how much money it's going to cost you, where that business is going to be, and what sort of business that is, and if you haven't got ideas of the product, the taste, what they're going to look like on paper, and if you don't review those on a daily basis, that is not a goal. That's an objective. For example, I want to become a confident public speaker is a goal. I will work with a coach to practice my public speaking skills by the end of this month. That's not a goal. This is just a dream. This is an objective. Because the only time this becomes a goal is when you state that I will become a confident public speaker and I will do my first public speaking event next Friday. That's when it becomes a goal. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands. A resolution. Resolutions are often temporary, giving short-term gratification. Okay, while a resolution is a decision to do or not to do something, a goal is what one wants to achieve. Does everybody know what a resolution is? Yes or no? Does everybody here have a New Year's resolution at midnight, New Year's Eve every year when you're drunk? Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure Jocelyn does. I'm sure Jocelyn looks at her husband and her kids every New Year's Eve and said, Mummy's resolution is to become richer next year. Mummy's resolution is to make sure that my son and daughter can afford to go to Disneyland next year. But that's only a resolution because Jocelyn hasn't done her job as a mother and hasn't set goals on how she's going to have enough money to take them to Disneyland, and she hasn't actually started booking the trip. So it's only a dream. It'll never become a goal. Do you understand that, Jocelyn? Yes, okay. Do you all understand that? Do you understand that, Tui Chi Gwyn? Yes, okay. So I want you to open your eyes, get all that mashed potato and sand out of your head, and I want you to start thinking as real people who want to be successful. I want you to actually start putting more effort in distinguishing between an objective, resolution, intuition into real goals. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Great. Okay, let me go back to my presentation. All right, the next part here we're going to look at is about a mission. What is a mission? A mission is just like intuition or objective. Mission statements create a clear and focused definition. So a mission statement will say, we want to be a brand leader and we want to be known as the best food maker in Southeast Asia. Jollibee. That's what the creator wanted. In the statement, the mission, it's a statement of purpose from which a company or business or individual operates. However, it is not a goal. A goal is a specific aim one or one's team works towards. So you say a clear focused direction that I want to have the most successful fast food chain in the Philippines. It's not a goal. It's just a mission statement. The goal happens when he says Jollibee will open its doors on the 1st of December. It will serve an American hot dog, American fried chicken, American pancakes, American spaghetti. And the recipe will be this recipe because this is a Filipino taste. And based on our research, Filipinos prefer this recipe. It will all be a goal once he has long-term and short-term goals. And KPIs have been set for his team on achieving those. That's when it becomes a goal. Okay, let's look at 7 common types of goals. 7 common types. Please memorize these. The first one is a short-term goal. These are goals that can be achieved relatively quickly, typically within a few days, weeks, or months, and these are usually used in order to achieve a long-term goal. The second goal is a long-term goal. These are goals that require a more extended period to accomplish, usually spanning several months or years. So for all you people who say to me, I'm going to work hard, save money, go back to my own country and start my business, that's not a goal. That's a dream. Your long-term goal should to have a business, a bakery business in the Philippines, located in this city, to have focus on what you're going to sell, what types of breads or cakes, how many people you're going to employ, how much money it's going to cost you to start it. That's a goal. That's long-term. Your short-term goal would be how much you have to save every month in order to make your long-term goal come true. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Are you sure you understand that? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, great. All right, let me continue. The second common or the third common type of goal is personal goals. These are goals that relate to an individual's personal life, such as health, relationships, and hobbies. Mr. Bill Crumb, finding the right girlfriend. The girls finding the right boyfriend. Professional goals. These are goals that relate to an individual's career, such as their job performance, getting a promotion, and improving their skills so their boss will recognize them, so people remember their name. The next one are financial goals. These are goals related to an individual's finances, such as saving for a down payment on a house. These are financial goals, but they only become a goal when there's a definitive plan. I need to save $50,000 within 12 months. Long-term goal. Short-term goal, I need to have $2,500 by the middle of January, $5,000 by the end of January, so on. You need to have a long-term goal supported by short-term goals. Otherwise, this will never be a goal. Academic goals, such as studying and graduating. Social goals that relate to an individual's social life, such as making new friends, improving communication skills, or attending social events. For example, when I was at university, my biggest goal was making sure I got invited to every girl's birthday party. If I wasn't invited, I knew I was no longer popular in my year. Okay? Do you understand that, guys? Where's Bill Crumb? Are you there, Bill Crumb? Where are you, mate? Okay, Bill Crumb. Good, excellent. Okay, where are you, Longanathan? Longanathan, Steve, you all probably had goals. When you were at school, you wanted to go to every girl's birthday party, and if you didn't, you wondered why you weren't invited. What was it? I don't look good? I smell bad, or why? The goal was every time somebody announced a birthday party, Longanathan had to say, "Where's my invitation?" He probably went up to that girl and said, "Am I invited?" No way. Why would I invite you? I don't know you. I'm in your class. I don't want you coming. My party's only for my friends. And Longanathan went home that day and looked at himself. Why didn't she invite me? What's wrong with me? And the next birthday party that came up, he tried again. And eventually he got invited to a birthday party. Am I right, Longanathan? Yes or no? Okay. All right. Does everybody understand that? Everybody has personal goals. You understand that, everyone? Yes or no? My personal goal right now is to lose 30 kilos before the end of this year. I have to lose 30 kilos of weight before the end of December. Why? Because the doctor told me that I'd look much better and feel much better. Am I on track to doing that? Well, I do have a goal, 30 kilos by the end of December, and I have short-term goals that I must go to the gym twice a week, every week. Am I meeting those goals? Sometimes not, because of work. Have I failed those goals? Yes. How do I know that I failed? Because every time my wife says, "You're getting fat," I don't like a fat husband. That hurts me, and I know that I failed. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? That's like Twee Chai saying to a husband or boyfriend, "I don't want to go out with you anymore. Your stomach is getting too big. Get rid of the stomach and then I'll go out with you." All right? Understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Now is smiling. Good on you now. Raquel, you agree with that, Raquel? Do you understand what I mean by a goal, Raquel? Good, Raquel. Okay, so everybody needs to have goals, whether personal, financial, professional, or long-term. Understand that? Yes or no? Okay, so let's look at goals. Let's look at long-term goals, all right? Let's look at long-term goals. What are long-term goals? Growth goals, increase the size or scope of your company. Process goals, improve everyday effectiveness of your team. That's a long-term goal, which you have to plan over months. Problem-solving goals, addressing a problem within the organization. Development goals, These are all common business goals, which are long-term. And for each of these long-term goals, there'll be many short-term goals. Innovation goals, profitability goals, definitely long-term. Marketing goals, definitely long-term. For every marketing goal, there should be 10 or 12 short-term goals. For every profitability goal, there should be 10 or 12 short-term goals, which will help you reach the long-term profitability goal. Customer relationship goal, company culture goal. All of these are very important goals. They are all critical. And for each of these goals, there can not only be a long-term goal, there must also be a short-term goal. Because if you don't have short-term goals, you will never achieve the long-term goal. And that means you failed. Long-term goals. Any business or organization should use long-term business goals to unify their vision, motivate their workers, and prioritize their short-term goals. So we start with setting the long-term goal, then break it up into short-term goals to help us achieve the long-term end. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Come on, guys. I'm falling to sleep. Wave your hands for me, please. Good, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Dixon, are you following what I'm saying, Dixon? Okay. Marites, do you understand what I'm saying, Marites? Thank you. Miss Lamia, do you understand what I'm saying, Miss Lamia? Good. Maricel? Good, excellent. Jocelyn, do you understand what I'm saying? I know you're making birthday balloons. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good, excellent. Thank you. All right. So long-term goals. What are some examples of long-term goals? This is number one that all of you who are running your own business should have starting today as a long-term goal. Increase total sales. A common growth profitability goal is to increase sales. An up-and-coming software company might set a long-term goal of increasing their product sales by 75% over 2 years. This is the long-term goal, long-term. For this long-term goal, they will have 24 short-term goals because over 2 years, every month, they'll have a short-term goal to make sure that at the end of 24 months, they achieve the long-term goal. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? The other long-term goal that companies should think of, or business entrepreneurs should think of, or your employer should think of, is increase employee retention. Because if you cannot retain employees and people leave your company all the time, it means you can never grow because you're constantly having to train new people. And why do people fail to maintain and increase in employee retention? It's because they don't know how to run their people. They don't know how to manage one of the most valuable assets any company has, which is their people. Remember, your people are your number one asset. Because without your people, the company cannot drive to earn revenue. You need a car to drive. You can't drive without a car. If you don't have a car, what are you driving? Thin air? It's the same as a business without the people to help you run it. Companies with high employee retention enjoy many benefits, such as decreased hiring costs, better brand reputation, highly skilled workforce. A large corporation with an employee retention rate of 80% might set a long-term goal of increasing that retention rate to 90% within 5 years. In actual fact, most multinational corporations now have a goal of increasing retention rate to at least 95 to 98%. And that's where they feel comfortable. All right, not 90, not 91, 95 to 98%. That means if you have 500 employees, the maximum dropout rate should be 1 or 2% per annum. That means out of 100 employees, they mean that on an annual basis, they retain at least 98 of those employees who work for another year. Retention. This is one of the most important long-term goals for any business. The other long-term goal that businesses usually develop is to develop a new technology. Most companies in the IT sphere, or even in the food business, they either want to develop a new technology in the IT business or in the food business to develop a new menu, a new brand of fast food, a new concept of fast food. A company might set a long-term goal of creating an entirely new artificial intelligence technology within 10 years. Many companies did this before COVID-19 and are now in their short-term goals of rolling out that artificial intelligence technology over the coming years. And one of the most important one that Jocelyn needs to take care of, instead of playing with her stuff right now, she needs to focus on me, is to grow her business operations. She knows that she has a business now, but she has become too relaxed because she's not focused on growing it and taking it to the next level. And Jocelyn needs a constant reminder, a kick to say, Jocelyn, why aren't you expanding? Why aren't you growing? Why are you sitting there doing work that your employees can do when you should be focusing on the next branch or next store or next expansion? Do you understand that, Jocelyn? I'm not giving you a hard time, Jocelyn. I'm trying to motivate you. I apologize. Okay, thank you. All right, let's go on. So let's look at a long-term goal and break it down so the goal is correct. Improve employee retention. Specific, I will improve the employee turnover by 15% in 90 days by putting up training for new employees and letting them know what is expected of them. So this goal is very specific. The measurement. The improvement in employee turnover is scheduled to be by about 15% and should take place within 90 days. All right. So the long term is 90 days, but they would have a short term goal based on maybe every 7 days to see how they're going along. Attainable. Why is it attainable? Trainings and one-to-one meetings will ensure that employees are prepared for what is expected of them. It'll motivate them and get them into a production mindset. It will also give the owner a hint of what's on the employee's mind and what they want to learn more about to motivate them to work harder. How is the goal relevant? Outstanding employees will be put up for a reward system. For ones that might be having a difficult time, there will be motivation trainings for encouragement. So is it relevant? Yes, it's relevant because your long-term goal is to train and improve employee retention. How are you going to do that? By providing your employees more training, making them feel more confident and raise their confidence at work so they don't start looking for a new job. And remember, it must be time bound. Let's look at one more. Increase profits. Specific, I will increase revenue while cutting down on expenditure. Moving to a more affordable rental premise that will cut my rent by 7%. Measurable, I will increase sales over the next 3 months by signing in 5 more potential clients. So specific, he wants to increase profits. Attainable, relevant, time bound. He set himself a time. Now, it might be long-term over 3 months, but during each month, there will be a short-term goal in order to measure whether he's on track to achieve the long-term goal. Okay, so the best long-term goals are as follows. Long-term goal to increase sales, long-term goal to build brand recognition, long-term goal to create a better reputation in the market that stands out as a market leader, a long-term goal to grow your social media following so you have more customers following your company on social media, Long-term goal is to be at the top of the Google search engine with your Google SEO. It could be to open more locations, to launch a new product or service, and to have a lot of promotional events which attract your customers to spend more money or attract more new customers. Let's look at short-term goals. Short-term goals are used by companies to increase profits, implement new policies, and or improve company culture in order to meet their long-term goal. Remember, the long-term goal was to increase profitability, and they want to increase profitability over the next 2 years. So that would be the long-term goal, but they would still have to have a short-term goal month by month to make sure that they're on track to reach the long-term goal. All right, another one, increase your market share. Again, this is an example of a short-term goal. So today you could say that I've launched a new product already. Now I want to get a larger market share from my competitors. That would be a short-term goal. Okay, increase their market share. They increase the percentage of their target audience who choose their product. This is good short-term goal for companies who have a long-term expansion. So if you want to expand long-term and have more branches, what you need in the short term is to keep building a bank of more customers in different cities that are interested in your product. You can do that by more intense advertising through social media or by more promotions to gather and win over the market share or to win customers from your competition. But this has to be short term. So month after month, you're growing your market share. So at the end, you can achieve your long-term goal by having a large enough market share, which would enable you to open more branches. Okay, let's go on. Let's talk about how you should, what sort of goals you should set yourselves. For all of you here at your current level of confidence or your current belief in yourself, you need to start with what we call SMART goals. SMART goals. SMART goals have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Why? Because they're manageable, they're easy to measure, they're good for focus attention. So you can focus on what you want to achieve. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. So remember that you need to focus on this element. You need to make sure that you can achieve that. The dangers are if your goals are not smart, they become inflexible, they become narrowly focused, they don't truly reflect your growth, and they don't allow you to achieve your growth. All right. Now, there is also other forms of objectives like OKRs, MBOs, bugs, and KRAs. But for now, I just want you to focus on SMART goals, because over the last couple of weeks, I taught you how to set SMART goals. I even gave you the tools and gave you homework. But to date, some of you have not even submitted their homework, and I'm very disappointed. So I'm extending the SMART goal homework to 12 midnight this coming Monday. If you really value the effort that I take to teach you, then after what you've learned today, go and do the SMART goal homework that I gave you. I even gave you Excel sheets. I gave you an exercise to learn to prioritize. None of you have done it yet. I've only received like 20 out of 159 homeworks. All right, let's go on, guys. Remember, your goals should be SMART. They should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be achievable. They should be relevant, and they should be time-bound. And that will definitely mean that you have made a large enough contribution to make you successful as oneself. Okay, remember, first step is to set a goal. The second step is to long-term goal. The second step is to use short-term goals to implement tiny steps towards achieving your long-term goal. It's to measure your results on a regular basis through your short-term goals and to change and adapt those goals so that eventually you reach your long-term goal. The 5 keys to success are what we call confidence. And what is confidence? Confidence requires that people be able to forget their fears. Don't be scared to make a mistake, because if you're scared to make a mistake, you lack confidence. You need persistence. Persistence is something that you know from school. When doing schoolwork, you used to get frustrated having to do schoolwork and homework every day. But at the end of the day, it paid off because you finished high school, you can earn money, you're an adult, you're working, or you've graduated or about to graduate through your studies with Kingston International College. Persistence. All right. The other one is organization. In order to be successful, you need to be an organized person. And that means on a daily basis, you review what you've done, what mistakes you made, how you're going to fix those mistakes moving forward on the next day. Let's go on. The next one is getting along. Getting along is the part where you get the respect of people that you work with or the community or industry you're trying to be successful in. Okay, so you need to work cooperatively. You need to be able to listen. Remember, if you go into anything thinking that you know it all, then you know nothing. You'll never be successful. Always go in thinking that you've got a lot to learn. Even though you think you know it, you don't know it. Like today, all of you told me you have goals. And when I hear you goals, most of you don't have goals. They have dreams or objectives because the goals are not basically smart and they're not tight enough and they're not focused enough. And last but not least, you need what most of you, or if not all of you here today, lack, and that is emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is when you come back and say to yourself, oh, why am I doing this? Why don't I just give up? Resilience is your ability to learn from your mistakes. Say to yourself, it's okay. The more pain I suffer now, the more successful I will be eventually. More pain, more success. Less pain, never successful. And in order to achieve all of this, you need to move away from the norm. I keep telling you that the norm is a socio-economic norm, the mindset, the stereo mindset that you can just do what your parents did, or just do what your friends did, or wear the same hairstyle as every girl in Manila, the long black hair. That's the norm. Will you be remembered for being norm? No. Will you be remembered, or will your business be successful if you are the norm and just copy somebody else or do what somebody else is doing? The answer is no. An eccentric-minded person is someone whose behavior goes outside today's norms. Eccentric describes the behavior of people who want to be successful as oneself. A 50-year-old punk rocker has an eccentric appearance compared to his or her peers. All right. So if we imagine a 50-year-old man, can we imagine what should a 50-year-old man look like? Can you imagine a 50-year-old man with pink hair wearing an Elvis Presley leather jacket? Can anybody imagine that? Yes or no? No? I don't know. Jocelyn, you want your husband to become a punk rocker? No? Okay, all right. Hold on, Jocelyn, if he becomes a punk rocker, then when he goes to your company, he might attract more customers. Wouldn't that be a positive move? Maybe you should tell him to try it if he's prepared to. All right. Okay. So can you imagine, imagine my co-host, Mr. Amala, if today he changed the color of his hair to pink and he went home to his mother and his wife wearing a pink t-shirt and a purple jacket, Do you know what his mother would say to him? What have I done? Where's my son? What are you doing wearing pink hair, Mala? Why? Because his mother is living the stereo norm. But that's okay, because that is what is expected in their country, in their society. Or in Australia, it wouldn't be seen of me walking around in an Elvis Presley leather jacket. People would laugh at me. But what is the benefit of being eccentric? The benefit of being eccentric is that people will look at you. People will recognize you. You will get the attention you want. Your product will get the attention. And if you're trying to start a business, the business will be successful. Because starting a business is not about going and opening a bakery like the 50 other bakeries in the Philippines. There's no point. If you can't bake cakes better than your competitors, you might as well not open a bakery. Do you understand that, everyone? Yeah? Like every Filipino girl says to me, I want to open a food restaurant. I'm going to sell the best adobo in the Philippines. And I keep asking her, by whose judgment is your adobo the best? Because every mother in the Philippines says that she has better adobo than her mother or her sister. So how can you judge the best adobo in the Philippines? What you should say is, I'm going to provide a new, tasty cuisine that no one has ever tasted. And maybe people will come to you. But don't try to build on somebody else's success, because no two people make the same adobo. No two people. And I don't know how to make adobo. I'm only going about what I've learned. Every person in the Philippines has a different recipe for adobo. All right. How many of you here eat adobo? Put your hand up. Who are the adobo lovers? Wow, look at them. I got 30 of you. Wow, God bless you all. All right. If I go to Vietnam and I say I want to eat pho, and I say to a Vietnamese person, I know how to make pho, he will laugh at me, because Vietnamese pho takes 30 years to master. The boiling of the beef or the chicken and the broth and the clarity of the soup, the color of the soup, and the strength in the taste of the soup is the one essential part of pho. It's not about making mutton soup, boiling the mutton and putting it in a bowl. That would never be pho. Do you understand what I mean, guys? So you need to be eccentric in the way you do things. Otherwise, you will never be successful, because no one will recognize you. Do you understand that? Yes or no? Look at Starbucks. Starbucks is a coffee. They're coffee. All their life they've been coffee. Starbucks is famous for coffee, hot coffee. Starbucks says if you go to Coffee Bean, they're famous for Ice Blended, because Coffee Beans started with Ice Blended, and then they followed Starbucks and started making hot coffee. All right, because they thought without hot coffee, people might not come to us, because the husband might drink Ice Blended, the wife wants hot coffee. But the reality is, Starbucks knows that Starbucks is famous for its hot brewed coffee. Ice Blended complements the hot coffee. Coffee Bean knows that they're famous for Ice Blended, and hot coffee complements the Ice Blended. Do you think Starbucks is famous for the food it sells? No. Do you think it wants to be famous for food? No, because food is not its core business. Its core business is coffee. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Can I ask you, why did Jollibee not just copy McDonald's and sell hamburgers? Because he would fail. Because there's too many people selling hamburgers. Jollibee is not a copycat. Jollibee is unique because his spaghetti sauce is sweet and sour, not sweet or spicy like the Italians. It is got its own unique taste. Its chicken is bigger than the average chicken you buy at KFC. That's why Jollibee is successful, because his products are eccentric. They're different. Why should I go to KFC in Manila and buy 3 pieces of chicken that are really small when I go to Jollibee and buy 3 pieces that are really big? Why would I waste my money at KFC or McDonald's? That's why Jollibee is the largest fast food outlet in Filipino history. They sell more fast food per day per capita than all the other fast food operators in the Philippines. That's taking into account McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, and all the other stuff. Okay, do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? All right. Okay, without breaking the norms, one may not be able to solve problems in society and prompt positive social change. Protests are most effective when people make a noise, different groups, and the protests are heard by the people around them. That's when people listen to the protesters. If the protest is only small, only 20 people, no one will listen to them. The more they protest and the more unusual things they say at the protest will get people to listen to them. I'm not telling you to go out and protest. I'm just giving you an example, huh? Social norms are their links to social change. Remember, if you can overcome the social norm and come up with something different, more people will know you. More people will buy your product. Have you ever altered the way that you act in public because you felt you had to behave in a certain way? If not, maybe you should ask yourself, do I still look like a schoolboy or a schoolgirl? Should I give myself a new look? What happens when you don't act the way people expect you to behave? They remember you because you acted differently. Providing you're eccentric and act in a way which is going to get you attention and grow your business so you become successful, then you're doing the right thing. If you expect everybody to act like you and you want to copy everybody else, then you are never going to stand out. You are for always just going to be one of the crowd. Do you expect others to act according to certain expectations depending on their age, occupation, or relationship to you? You shouldn't. You don't want people to behave the norm. You want people to show you how good they are and why you should do business with them. Or you need to show people why you're better than your competitors and why they should buy from you. All right, so let me just bring this down. I'm not sure why. Just hold on. I need to fix my screen, guys. One moment. All right. Just give me a minute, will you? Let me fix this. I can't seem to show the slide. Hold on. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, let's try now, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, let's look at these. What are the preconditions of success? In order for you to be successful, you need to realize these important preconditions. You have to be individual bound. You have to be intrinsic. You have to be full of motivation. You have to have a wide and profound interest or level of understanding or competence in what you want to do. You have to have a high level of being able to perform at your best every day. And you must think positively every day. You must never think negatively. Let's look at context-bound factors. You must always explore new opportunities without limitations. You must always set yourself higher expectations. You must never be afraid of setting higher standards, higher demands, and higher obligations for yourself. What are the activities of success within the individual context? Using one's strengths seizing opportunities, and pursuing in personal development. Now, can I just show you that you cannot pursue strengths unless you bring in a level of eccentricity into your behavior? What are the consequences of success as a result? Well, let me tell you, when you're successful, you will have positive emotions and attitudes towards oneself and others. You will feel a sense of meaning and purpose in your life. You will have a lot more money in the bank, most likely, and you'll feel a sense of happiness and well-being. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? I will send you a copy of the PowerPoint on Monday. I suggest you print out that slide and plaster it on your bathroom mirror so you can look at it every morning. I suggest you wake up and pull your fingers out of your lazy mouths and start realizing that you didn't have goals before today. What you all had was objectives. Does everybody understand where I'm coming from now? Do you understand the difference between having goals and objectives? Yes? So, did any of you have any real goals before today? I'm sorry to say no, because I can see it in your faces. What I want you to do is I want you to make a promise to me today by raising your hand and saying, I will. Everybody, raise your hand. Everybody, come on, hurry up. Everybody, I will. I can. I will be successful. I can be successful. I will. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is really important that you wake up. Stop living in your world of dream. Stop living with the mind that you had when you were at school. You're no longer at school anymore. You're no longer school kids. Mummy and daddy are not going to help you if the teacher calls them and says you failed. Do you understand that, everyone? Okay, let's go on. Just one moment, please. Okay, let me go back and share my screen. One moment. Okay, no, that's not it. Just one moment, will you? Share screen, that one. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so I want you to also examine your personal identity, because if you don't examine your personal identity and you don't realize the sense of self that a person develops over their life, and if you can't get your personal identity right, then you will never reach the level of success that you really truly want. Amala, somebody is drawing on my screen, my dear friend. Okay, definition. A personal identity is the collection of unique identifying factors that a person develops over time. What is this referring to? This is referring to, ladies and gentlemen, you developing a sense of eccentricity. Unique identifying factors. You need to be eccentric. Your personal identity is unique to you because no one has the exact same mix of features, memories, habits, emotional disposition, and knowledge that you have. These are pure must. Give me an example. Key example of personal identity include your personality, your taste, your achievement, your gender, your ethnicity, your nationality, your social status, social class, and beliefs, your values and cultures. And all of these are reflected in any type of business you start or in the way you do business, in the way you plan, in the way or level of seriousness, the way or level of intensity that you put into everything you do. Combined, all of these features make all of you unique individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all unique. You are all very special in your own way. You all have your own beautiful appearances. You all have your own very intelligent minds. But unfortunately, you have never faced the reality about what it really takes to be successful. Successful is not a gift from God. Okay, it's not a gift from God. God gives us life. He gives us breath. He allows us to continue living. But how we manage our life is in our own hands. We decide whether we want to be successful or not. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Show me where I'm wrong. They say that Jesus Christ came to the world and he sacrificed his life for humanity, right? Jesus Christ was put on a cross. Okay, why? Because he was trying to deliver Christianity to the world, and he was successful. But he sacrificed himself for the world. Okay? No matter which religion you look at, it's the same. Islam, Muhammad, may he rest, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as they say. Muhammad, the prophet, came to life to bring Islam to the world, and he did through his disciples. So Jesus Christ did it. The Muslims did it. The world can do it. Steve Jobs went to Apple, and they told him that he didn't think the way they thought. He had the intuition. He had the propensity. He had the level of eccentricity to take it upon himself and keep pushing. He kept pushing so hard that 2 years later they bought him out and made him CEO of the company. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does anybody have any questions about anything that I've raised at BizTalk today? I'd love to answer any of your questions. Vignesh, do you understand what I've said so far, Vignesh? Good man, excellent. Stephen Asino, are you here today, Stephen? Hi, Stephen. Do you understand what I said? Thank you, Stephen. I hope it helps. Luz de Leon, are you here? Good, excellent. Okay. Jacqueline Salinas, have you understood what I've said today? Good on you, Jacqueline. God bless you, Jacqueline. Okay. Okay, everyone. My name again is Wally Rowder. I thank you so much for joining me here for BizTalk today. It's been my absolute pleasure and delight to have you here. It's thrilling every time I see you and hear your stories. What I'd like to ask you to do is to please go. I haven't finished yet, guys. Stop running away so early. You don't know what I'm going to say next. Okay, so the quickest thing that shows people how eccentric they are is they attend a 2-hour session, and 10 minutes short of 2 hours, they're in a hurry to leave, and they may miss the most important part of the whole lecture. That tells you something about something you should learn to be successful. Always be the last person to go. Do you understand that? Don't think you know everything, because you will lose eventually. Do you understand that, everyone? Perfect example. Thank you, guys. All right, so let's start. What I'd ask you to do is to please go to our social media. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube at the Apex Stories. Please, if you've enjoyed what I've done, if you want to recognize me for the time I've spent with you today, please go to social media today and say, thank you, Wally, and give me the thumbs up. Can everybody do that for me today? I expect to get 177 thumbs up today on Facebook. Promise? Yes or no? Promise. Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody have any questions? It's question time. Let's go. Who wants to talk to me? Put your hand up quickly. Come on, somebody has to talk to me. No one? Okay, we've got someone. Tui Chai Gwyn. Hi, Tui. Switch on your microphone. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're welcome. Go ahead. How can I help
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I have one question. Do you think we should have one or two big goals at the same time? For example, now I want to develop myself to be a executive director, but at the same time, my boyfriend and me want to open a new business. So two goals are both important for us. So I
Right.
don't
So,
know, I should go
okay.
to my professional routine or
Okay.
do the
Well,
business.
the answer is very simple. You need to keep your job in order to finance your business with your boyfriend. Is that right? Because you need to keep earning an income, correct? So your big goal for you, long-term goal, should be to work towards becoming an executive director and earning a higher salary. For your boyfriend, his long-term goal should be to open a business, right? And for you, your short-term goal should be for you to support him with the business. But still, until you become executive director where you're at a level of financial capacity where you can spend more time helping him with the business, your goal should be focusing on your professional life.
But maybe I'm older now compared with the young people, and it's the crisis in the world, and the unemployment happen everywhere. So the competitiveness sometimes is rough for a woman like me, and my job is a little like specific. My job before is government relation manager,
Yeah.
and this is not very large market for career.
Okay, all right. Well, Tui Chi, I've been to Korea. I have a lot of Korean colleagues, and I know how tough Korean bureaucracy is, and I respect what you're saying. Let me just give you some inspiration. Don't ever say I'm old. You're old physically, but you're young at heart. I want you to write this down, Twee, because me and you may be roughly the same age, and you may be smarter than me, but I have helped a lot more people. All right. Let me tell you something. I have been executive vice president of HR for some of the biggest companies in the world. And I've had many people like you in their 50s come to me and say, I'm getting bored. Maybe I should resign. I'm not getting anywhere. I have seen those people go from junior vice presidents to senior vice presidents 10 years before they retired. Okay. So just hear me out. Don't ever say I'm old. Don't ever say that. Say, I'm physically old, but I'm young at heart. Okay. What you have to remember is you have knowledge up here that is an asset to the people you work for, because the knowledge that you have, the younger guys might not have. And that knowledge is not academic knowledge, it's experimental knowledge, hands-on. Okay. So for you, I think you should avoid, you see, you're suffering the norm. You're doing exactly what I told you you shouldn't do. You're basing your comments based on the fact that you think, oh, I'm old, blah, 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 blah. You're living under a stereotype norm. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what you need to do, ma'am, is throw this stereotype norm out and say to yourself, hey, listen, I know I'm freaking old. I can't change that. Not unless there's a miracle, give me tablets and make me younger. So should I give up on my life now and just die? No. So what you should say is, now that I'm old, I have a lot more up here and I can do a lot more to get what I want. And you have a lot more reason to be eccentric because you need to get out of that stereotype norm that I'm old. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you an example, Twee, and I'll give you my WhatsApp number shortly, and you can send me a message and I'll talk to you one-on-one because I don't think it's appropriate here, okay? But what you need to remember, let me tell you about myself, okay? My father died 11 years ago. When my father died, I had not spoken to him for 10 years. Me and him had not set eye to eye. I had not said a word to him for 11 years. Okay. Now, why? Because the norm told me that he was a jerk and I shouldn't talk to him. All right. Understand that? Because of what he did to me and what I'd been through with him and the way he behaved towards me and my new wife. This was many years ago. I stopped talking to him. One day I woke up on a very wet and cold Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my phone had 35 missed calls. My mother called me from Australia to tell me that my father had been in hospital for 90 days and he had about 3 hours to live. She asked me if I wanted to talk to him. At first I said no and I hung up. Do you know what happened to me for the next 10 minutes? What do you think happened?
Do you talk to him?
No, I broke down emotionally and I didn't have the courage to call back. My wife called and he picked up the phone and I picked up the phone. And the only words that came out of my mouth was, Dad, forever I love you. I'm sorry. Now, did I mean that? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. Did I plan to say that? It was a very quick reaction to the condition he was in. But he left me with 4 words. He said, son, I've never stopped loving you. I know I was wrong. I've always been sorry for what I did to you, and I will forever love you. And he hung up. He didn't let me say anything in return. About 3 hours later, I got a call from the professor, the doctor, telling me as his eldest son that my father had passed away. So what I'm trying to say to you, and I'm not trying to give you my sorry story, what I'm trying to say to you is everybody lives with the norm, all right? And for me, was it right for me not talk to my father for 10 years? No, but I had grown up in a society where I was told that if your father abuses you, calls you silly every day, don't put up with it. Just block him, cut him off. That was the norm. No one ever taught me differently. And I was too scared to go against that norm. All right? I went against the norm in my professional life. I made my $1 million based on what he taught me as a kid. I lost $1 million running a business because I didn't listen to him. I did things my own way and I learned from them. But the biggest mistake in my life was because I wasn't prepared to go away from the norm when it came to talking to my own father. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. So I say it to you, leave the norm behind you. Tui Chai, every night look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm strong here. I have an advantage over all the other guys. I have been doing this job for years and my employer trusts me. Okay. I have a boyfriend that loves me. He wants to go into business with me. But my boyfriend also wants me to be successful. So I have inner happiness. Do you understand that? And I
Yes,
want you every night to focus on that and don't ever let the fact that you're old stop you. And again, I say to you, your long-term goal should be primarily to secure the promotion. Do you understand that? Primarily. Now, that long-term goal, you can give yourself a time span of 6 months or 12 months. You know the job and how long it takes, okay? Give yourself 12 months. On a monthly basis, you have a short-term goal where you review whether you've done anything to make your boss recognize you. What have I done this month that is going to add a point for me to become executive director? What have I done? Have I got any proof that I've done something better? Have I improved strategy? Have I been successful at anything I've done? Do that on a monthly basis, right? Now, at the end of 12 months, if you have still not made executive director, then you, on a monthly basis, every month when you assess yourself and you say, I'm not achieving anything, then that tells you that you're not eccentric. You're not doing anything differently. Do you understand that? Because at your age, to become executive director, they expect to see you do something differently to what the young guys do because you have the expertise. Do you understand what I mean by that? Yes or
yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
No, and listen to me. I will put my co-host, my boss here today, Mr. Amala, will be sending you a WhatsApp, a chat message in the Zoom chat right now. He'll send you a private message. He will give you my WhatsApp number. If you want to talk about any ideas or you want me to go into detail about your goals and what you should do to become executive director, drop me a WhatsApp message via WhatsApp, not Telegram. Give me your name. Tell me about what you want, and I'd be happy to call you and give you some advice. Would that help you?
Yes, thank you very much,
It's
sir.
my absolute pleasure. Mr. Amala, could you provide Tui Chi Gwyn with my 822 number, please? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anybody else that would like to talk to me here today? Forgive me for sharing my error in life, but I think it's important to know that everybody makes mistakes in their life. A lot of us make mistakes, and the only time we realize that we're too busy, bogged down by stereotype, we realize that we should have not listened to the stereotype and done it our way because we would have been much more successful. Maybe if I spoke to my father for the last 10 years of his life, I wouldn't have lost $1 million because he had been CEO to one of the biggest companies in the world for many years, and maybe he could have helped me. But because of my pride and the stereotype mentality I had, I wasn't prepared to look beyond that. Do you understand that, everyone? Do you understand what I mean by saying you need to forget the stereotype norm? You need to do things your own way. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? If you don't know what that means, look in the mirror. I'm serious. Look in the mirror. Go to the mirror tonight, everyone. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that I am doing today? What is it about the way that I look today that's different to the way that girls or guys my age looked 2 years ago? What is it that would make people look at me or talk to me today that I am not doing? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, is it my look? Is it my image? Is it the way I speak? Is it the way I dress? Is it time for me to have a fresh look in life? I don't know. It's something you have to ask yourself. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Do you understand that, Nancy? Okay. Ask yourself, do I have confidence? Speak to yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, Nancy, what did I do well this week? Don't be shy to say that I did nothing well and cry. It's okay. As long as at the end of that admission, you say, okay, I'm going to now plan on how I'm going to forget that and change next week. Do you understand that, Nancy? I'm not giving you a hard time, Nancy. I'm just motivating you. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Nancy. Okay. Is that okay, Nancy? Good girl. Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to talk to me? Anybody else want to talk to me? Put up your hand. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's BizTalk. Mr. Amala, thank you for having me here today. Thank you for allowing me to present BizTalk. It's been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember that we have another important session at 8 o'clock tonight. Okay, and it's another hard rocking motivation session. All right, with my guru, my mentor, Mr. Benson Ma. I ask you to take yourself from your bums from this session to the motivation session, because he will definitely inspire you knowing what he's got in store. All right. I love you all. I will see you not next week, but the week after for BizTalk. Okay. I will see you in week 3. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you and goodbye.